forget, since I'm playing Kathy and Nikki today. Peggy's trying to get in. She's joining. We'll give it just another minute, Dave, and then we'll get started.
I am good with that. And we have 90 minutes, right?
Yes, we have as long as you'd like to give us. We are so thrilled to have you. And we're willing subjects.
Cool.
Okay, poor Peggy's having trouble getting in, looks like. I didn't think about it. I should have started her admission process early. It takes her a minute sometimes to get in here. And I don't see anybody else. We might have a small group today. I know several people had other things to do. Okay. Oh, Peggy. There's Peggy. Let her see if she can get in on her other. She's doing the 2-device thing again. There she is. Okay, Dave, we'll go ahead and get started. Ladies, thanks for joining us this afternoon. We have as our special guest Dave Gieselman from Becoming Limitless. And those of you who have done the program with us before know Dave and how great he is. We're so grateful for him doing this. I think this is the third year, Dave. Second or third? Definitely
second or third.
Probably
definitely
third.
Second, at least third.
Probably third. And we are so excited to have you with us. And without further ado, I'll turn it over to you. We will put all of Dave's information in the group for you ladies, because he does host breathwork sessions twice a week through his Facebook page. And we'll have all that information in the group for you and the link to his actual website. So if you're interested in doing some work with Dave, you can have all that information. And without further ado, it's all yours, Dave.
Thank you so much, Kathy. I really appreciate you. Good afternoon. It's afternoon. Yeah, it's afternoon for all of us, but at this point, right? I'm here in Los Angeles, and it's a beautiful day here. So, just quick show of hands. I know Christine, but how many have done breath work with me before? Have any of you guys done? Kathy has. Yeah, Angela, you I recognize. So, and Peggy, you've done breath work with me before, right? All right, cool. So for those of you who have not, I'm gonna go through what this looks like, what you're going to experience, and let me start by saying that you don't need to remember anything I'm about to say. I just want you to have an understanding of what we're about to do before we do it, because there are a few things that are going to happen. A few things are going to happen to you mentally. There's a few things that are going to happen to you emotionally. There's a few things that are going to happen to you physically. And just as they happen, I want you to go, oh yeah, Dave said this was going to happen. All right, I'm just fine. So what we are doing today is we're going to do a 4-part breathwork session. And so breathwork, for those of you who are not familiar, it's just like intentional breathing patterns, breathing in a focused, intentional way. And there are lots of different ways to do breath work. There are lots of types of breath work. It is an art and a science that humans have evolved themselves in since the dawn of man. Almost every civilization ever has developed some sort of breathing practice looking for one effect or the other. The Polynesians used to practice breathing so they could hold their breath real long when they were free diving, when they were so they could get food. The Norse used breath work to regulate body temperature. The Chinese used qigong, moving energy around. Most of you have probably heard of Wim Hof. That's that crazy, like, extreme sports adventurer guy who does a bunch of breath work and then swims in the Arctic Ocean and climbs up Everest in his underwear or whatever he does. And so humans have been practicing breath work forever. What we're doing is not new. It's not unique. It's not woo woo. It's not cutting edge. It's all based in at least the breath work that I promote and the breath work that I teach is all based in neuroscience. It's based in medicine. It's based in fact, and it's based in measurable things. So we're just going to do some really focused intentional breathing, a couple different breathing patterns, a couple different types of breath holds. So that's what we're doing today, bottom line. So it's a 4-part breathwork session today. And each round, we have 3 work rounds. They all kind of look the same. Each round consists of 11 minutes of focused, intentional breathing, and it's going to feel like work. It's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging. You can totally do this. This session was completely designed for someone who has never done breath work ever in their lives to do this session, and make it all the way through and have a huge experience with it. So it's 11 minutes of focused, intentional breathing. At the end of that 11 minutes, we will have what is called a sublimation. Sublimation means we're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to hold it briefly, and then you're going to release out the mouth, and you're going to hold without inhale. So you're going to release about like 70% of your air. You're not blowing it all the way out. You're not emptying your lungs. You're just releasing. Deep breath in, and it's just a release, right? And you're going to hold without inhale. The first round, we're going to hold 60 seconds. The second round, we're going to hold 80 seconds. The third round, we're going to hold 90 seconds, which is amazing because if I told you to just exhale and hold your breath for 90 seconds right now, there'd be no way you could do it. But by the time we get to the third round, it won't feel like enough time. You're going to be like, whoa, I could have done that forever. When we do this, when we release and we hold without inhale, certainly the first time, probably all 3 times, a couple interesting things are going to happen. The first thing that's going to happen is your mind, which is very used to this in-out pattern of breathing that you've been doing most of your life, right, is going to notice that you're not doing that. And it is going to begin suggesting quite strongly that you begin that process again, please. Your body, on the other hand, just spent the last 11 minutes hyper-oxygenating. You have plenty of oxygen in the system. You have plenty of air. Your body is fine and your body knows it. What needs to happen is that information needs to travel from your body to your mind. Once the body tells the mind that the body is safe, the mind releases fear. Okay? By the way, that is the only direction that information travels. You cannot think your way into feeling safe. You must feel your way into believing you are safe. Does that make sense? That is the only direction that information travels, which is why when we're stressed out or when we're fearful or when we're in our stress response, it's like we got one toe nailed to the ground and we're turning in circles because I can't figure out what to do next and it all feels important and I don't know how to prioritize it and it feels like there's a lot on the line and I can't, and I got to make sure I'm doing everything in the right order, because if I do it in the wrong order, then everything falls apart. And if I could just decrease the stress level, then I'd be able to make a good decision. And the truth is that you will not be able, or if I could just make a decision, then the stress level will decrease. The truth is that you will not be able to make a good decision until the stress level decreases. The body must tell the mind that it is safe. So we slow, so the heart sends 60 times more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. So when we are stressed, when we are fearful, when we're in anxiety, when we're in all this stuff, when we're in fight or flight, right? We're in our survival mode, right? what we can do is when we recognize we're there, slow the breathing down. If you want to control your mind state, you control your heart rate. If you want to control your heart rate, you control your respiration. So you slow the breathing down. Slowing the breathing down slows the heart down. And then the mind, which is wrapped around the axle about one thing or another, goes, oh, wait. I thought we were freaked out about the thing. And the heart goes, no, dude, you're freaked out about the thing. We are just fine. We are safe. And the mind goes, well, all right. I didn't know. I thought we were busy, like still running from the wolf, is what I thought we were doing. No. So when the body tells the mind that the body is safe, you are going to go into a very cool, very special, very trippy place. I always liken it to like if you've ever had a dream that you were swimming underwater, and then suddenly realize you hadn't taken a breath in some time, and you're like, oh, this is great. I feel like I can just hold my breath forever and do my thing, and this is amazing. That's kind of what it feels like. So you're going to go, it's going to feel very freeing, very expansive, right? And then at the end of that, we're going to take a great big deep full breath. So I'll call it, and we'll go take a deep full breath in. We'll have a retention, right? Deep full breath in. Then we're going to hold, and we're going to hold our breaths as long as we can, as long as we can. And I'll give you some instructions while we're doing that. And then you hold as long as you can, and when it's time for you to release, and everybody is different, how long you can hold your breath is going to be different for everybody. You're going to do a long, slow release through pursed lips, like you're exhaling through a coffee straw, and that is one round. Okay, 11 minutes, focused, intentional breathing, sublimation. Great big deep breath in, hold, release, hold without inhale. When it's time, I'll tell you to take a great big deep breath in. Fill the belly, fill the rib cage, fill the chest, and we're going to hold, and you're going to hold as long as you can. And when it's time to release, you're going to release a long, slow exhale. And we're going to do that 3 times. The first time, the breath that we're going to be focused on is bellows breath. This is a quick double inhale followed by a release exhale. It sounds like this. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. This is a physiologically soothing breath. Think of like a child crying. When we cry, we take that quick double inhale. When we cry, when we sob, it is a physiologically soothing breath, which is why we do it when we cry, right? So the body is busy calming itself, okay? And so it doesn't matter if you're breathing through your nose or through your mouth. If you are breathing, you are doing it right. So don't worry about it. Should I be doing it through my nose or through my mouth? The more breath work you do, the more you will tend to breathe through your nose. However, it's not super easy for everybody. Some people have colds, some people have allergies. At least one of us has been punched in the beak a couple times and doesn't have straight sinuses anymore. So sometimes breathing through the nose can be challenging for me. So with this particular type of breath work, it doesn't matter, right? There's no way to do it wrong. So when we get like 3 minutes in and you're wondering if you're doing it right, let me assure you right now, if you are breathing, you are doing it right. Don't second guess yourself, okay? The second round will be focused on warrior's breath. This is deep in and deep out. This is a powerful, energizing breath. We are driving your nervous system through the roof. We are pushing you into your sympathetic nervous system. We are pushing you into fight or flight. I promise we'll bring you back down for a soft landing, right? But first thing we want to do is we want to drive that nervous system, drive it all the way up. And then, so 11 minutes of that, then a sublimation and a retention. And then the third round, we're back to bellows breath, in, out, in, out. For 11 minutes, sublimation, retention at the end. The fourth part of this breathwork session is a suspension or a savasana. This is where you just get to lay in your, what I absolutely guarantee is going to be an altered state of conscious by the time you get here. You are going to be in a different place. And this is going to be your opportunity to just be present with yourself and see what comes up for you. There are a few things that you are likely by the way, does anybody have any questions about what we're doing so far? If you do, just unmute yourself, give me a wave, type it in the chat. I don't care. Like, you're not interrupting me. I want you to feel comfortable about what we're doing. And I want you to feel comfortable about what's going on. I promise to guide you all the way through this. I promise at no point are you going to wonder, like, what am I supposed to be doing? Am I holding? Am I breathing? What am I doing? I promise you will know what you're doing the entire time. And if you have any questions, please just unmute yourself and ask. I promise you're not interrupting me. So there are a few things that you are likely to experience during this process. The first thing that you are likely to experience, we're going to get about 3 minutes into this thing, and you are going to experience resistance. All of a sudden there's going to be like you're going to be laying down or sitting on your couch or whatever you're doing, and all of a sudden we're going to get like 3 minutes into this thing, and the entire list of all the shit that you suddenly need to do real bad is going to come up. Right? Like, you'll never have to wash your car so badly in your life. There's suddenly going to be laundry to fold. There's going to be dishes to do. There's going to be errands to run. We're going to get all the, I could get all the Christmas presents wrapped right now. Like, if nobody's here, like, I could totally, like, maybe this isn't what I need to be doing right now. I'm going to catch the replay. I don't even know who this guy is. Nikki says he's cool, but I don't know anything about this dude. Like, the music is weird. This is not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a nice, like, relaxy, breathy thing. This is hard. I don't know if this is. I promise all of that is going to come up. I promise. Okay? When it does, I invite you to just breathe through the resistance. Okay, just breathe through it. Most importantly, I want you to pay attention to the language that your resistance is using. Okay, I want you to pay attention to the negotiation process. I want you to pay attention to the arguments that it is making, because I guarantee those arguments are showing up in other areas of your life. Okay, I guarantee that your resistance has found language that works, and it is using it in other places. And it's the same language that comes up when you don't want to get up in the morning, don't want to go to the gym, don't want to stay on your diet, don't want to do that part of your job that you don't like, don't want to do those chores around the house that you don't love, like all of the things, right? And it's going to sound like, I don't have the energy for this is not what I thought, I'll do it next week, I'll do it tomorrow, this is the other thing. Pay attention, okay? Because your mind has found language that works, and it talks you out of shit that you have agreed is important for you to do, okay? The second thing you are likely to experience is tingling, numbness, kind of buzzy, foot fall asleepy sensation in your hands, your fingertips, your face, your lips, your skin. The type of breathing that we're doing is going to cause a contraction in the microcirculation. The very smallest blood vessels and capillaries in your hands, your skin, your face, your lips are going to contract, and you're going to get that buzzy, numb, foot fall asleepy thing going on. It's not painful, but you're gonna notice it. Okay, when this happens, and it will happen, these are indicators that everything is going right, not that anything is going wrong. You may end up experiencing tetany. Tetany is a cramping of the hands. It is not painful, but if you're not expecting it, you can go like, what the hell is going on? Tetany is the physiological response to a rapid shift in your blood pH. And because we're shifting our O2 and CO2 levels a couple different times during this process, you are likely to experience tetany. Tetany is like breathwork gang sign, right? Like if you hang out with a bunch of breathwork people and you throw up the lobster claws, everybody knows what you're talking about. Okay, I get it very strongly when I do my own breath work. Um, I cramp all the way up, but I'm a big physical, visceral guy. I enjoy the physical manifestation of the breath. I enjoy the contraction and I enjoy the release. The most important part of about this to remember, once again, if you're experiencing tetany, it is an indicator that everything, that all of your systems are doing exactly what they should be. It is not an indicator that anything is wrong, that anything is happening that shouldn't be happening. Okay, it simply means that all of your systems are like on, they're on cue, they're on point, they are all doing the thing that they should be doing right now. When you start messing with the oxygen levels, right? And we're just increasing the shit out of the oxygen levels. So that's what we're doing. Even with the breath holds, we're not depleting our oxygen. We are creating a longer opportunities for gas exchange, which means our blood is actually getting more oxygen and less carbon dioxide. So that's what we're actually doing. We're actually increasing the oxygen levels in the body. And the third thing that you are likely to experience, and this is the whole point of limitless flow breathwork. This is the entire point of my entire modality, is you are likely to experience a non-normal state of consciousness. You are likely to experience an altered state of consciousness called transient hypofrontality. Transient meaning it doesn't last real long. You can cultivate it but not capture it. Hypo meaning less than or slower. Frontality referring to the prefrontal cortex. This is the newest, most human part of your brain. This is the part of your brain that's responsible for your understanding of time. Your ego self, who I am, my me, lives in the prefrontal cortex. This is long range planning. This is risk assessment. This is the voice of the critic. The voice that follows you around and tells you that you suck. It lives in the prefrontal cortex. Okay, and we're about to turn that sucker off for about 10 minutes. Okay, and it's going to be great. Okay, when we do this, we open up ourselves. So this is what runners call runner's high. This is what extreme sports athletes call the zone. Like surfers, snowboarders, free solo climbers, skydivers, like all these guys, we think they're chasing adrenaline. They're not. They're chasing transient hypofrontality. They call it being in the zone. Okay, and they chase it with their lives. The reason they chase it with their lives is because when you go into transient hypofrontality, when you go into the zone, your brain kicks off 5 neurochemicals that are only get produced when you are in this state. They are super good. They're giant warm fuzzies and they are crazy addictive, right? So what you are doing is you are teaching your brain and you are teaching your body to do things that are super healthy, and your brain gets right on board with it and goes, oh yeah, and we're going to make it feel so good. You're going to want to do it forever, right? So your brain is going to kick off a bunch of really great neurochemicals. This is addictive. The happiest people on earth are the people who spend the most time in transient hypofrontality. Academics call it flow state, right? Ask any surfer, they'll tell you, right? And the reason that people get so into these things is because when they're doing these activities, just like you are going to experience it through the breath, when you're riding a surfboard, when you're skiing down a mountain, Christine will tell you when you're 25 miles into a long run, and your brain just kind of goes, you just go somewhere else. Your ego sort of falls away. Your sense of self will drop away. Your sense of time will dilate. You will feel a deep sense of connection and purpose, and it will feel deeply meaningful. It will feel like you have a very, very strong connection to not only yourself but the other people in this group, and more specifically, for the purpose of this group, the people in flow state, people who have uh, who have an easier path to go between spirit and this world find it real easy in flow state. So people in this community, I work with a ton of mediums. I work with a ton of people who spend their lives crossing the barrier between this world and spirit. People in flow state do it easier, they do it faster, and they do it with crazy levels of clarity. Does that make sense? So if you already have an ability to kind of cross that threshold when it's meaningful or important to you, this will only enhance that. I want to be clear. I make zero promises. Okay, I make zero promises about this. But most people in Nikki's group who come and do this with me talk about talking to their people on the other side. They talk about having experiences with their people on the other side, with their people, with other people's people, with, they talk about having an enhanced sense that they have a connection with spirit. And so I work with a lot of mediums, and I take a lot of mediums through breath work. And they go, look, I don't know. There were so many people who came in and out when we were doing the thing. It was crazy. So I want to make sure that I'm making no promises about who, what, and where you are likely to find yourself. However, people who have that ability anyway find it heightened, and they find it sort of lubricated in breath work. Does that make sense for everybody? So that is what we are doing. It is why we are doing it. Okay. When you are in flow state, your body and your mind are processing information about 100 times their normal rate. It is a hugely beneficial cognitive state. You can't live in it. You can't stay in it. You can only visit it. And if you visit it regularly, it's a good deal. But it's not a state that you get to stay in. You don't get to live there. Once again, ask any surfer. You don't get to live your life on a surfboard. You got to go about your existence. But it is a hugely beneficial cognitive state. You can process old wounds, old trauma, old emotional blocks, old stuck energy in a really efficient way. You are likely to experience an emotional release. You are likely to experience old memories kind of coming up in a way that maybe they haven't in some time, and you're very likely to experience if people on the other side tend to come through for you anyway, you are likely to experience a boost in that. So that's what's going on. That's what I do. I absolutely love it. I love this game so much. It's the most fun I get to have. Are there any questions about what we're doing before we get started? Christine, I love having Christine here. Christine is actually I met her in this 2 years ago. So 1 year ago, I met Christine in this event 1 year ago. Christine has become one of my students. She is a Limitless Flow certified breathwork facilitator, and I am so happy to see her. I used to see her every Saturday when we were in the class, and she has since graduated and is doing facilitation of her own. Christine, you have greater context to this particular group than I do. Is there anything that you would like to add about what I've said, or what they're likely to find here?
My personal experience is this has been a modality that I've connected with Alex with. So I just wanted to mention that. Like, I feel that I actually visit him on the other side. And I think I mentioned this the other night in group that just recently I had a mediumship reading with Rachel Pearson, and Alex spent a lot of time talking about breath work, my breath work, and actually confirmed that I was extending my energy and like I was that I am I'm visiting him. Like there was very specific details of like our visits. So I just wanted to add that, but also too the rationale for like enhancing mediumship with breath work. Marie Hess, which I think a lot of us know, has spoken really like she loves the science space of mediumship, and she talks about how as a medium, when you're reading for others, your brain waves go down to like theta waves, and that's what I've learned in studying with Dave is that's what happens when you're doing breath work. So it all like that was a big like kind of light bulb for me, like, oh, that makes sense as to why I'm like so connected to my son when I do breath work. So that's been my personal experience with it. So
Yes, and Marie is doing our gallery reading tomorrow at
tomorrow,
12:30.
yeah,
So keep in mind, ladies, that a lot of this really great energy you're going to get from the breath work today will carry over to that and make it more open for your kids to come in during the gallery reading as well.
yeah.
It's all connected. Everything's connected.
Yeah, the first time I did breath work in this group with Dave, like it was like I was hearing Alex. Like I was hearing Alex, and I at that point in time I was a very like new in my grief, and I hadn't been sleeping in like 11 months, and after that session with Dave, I went to bed and I slept for the first time, and then I started going to his weekly groups, and then ended up deciding to be a breathwork coach, and it just kind of like it extended from there. But it's been amazing for me, an amazing experience. So I hope it is for you too, like all of you, especially anybody who hasn't done this yet. So
Thank you so much, Christine. I
and
love you. I am so happy to see you.
and Dave's one of my favorite humans. He really is. So I have full trust in him.
Thank you so much. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So what you need to do right now is take a moment. You need to ideally be laying down. Position your camera so that I can see you from your head to your waist. This enables me to see you, to coach you, to see if you're breathing, falling asleep. If I see you kind of nodding off on me, what I'll do is I'll say your name, and it'll kind of bring you back in just a little bit. If you don't have a place where you can lay down, you can do this kind of sitting up a little bit on a couch. If you are sitting up, most importantly, please be in something with arms on it, because you will hit the ground. Like you're going to get lightheaded. You're going to you're going to go to a different place. And that's the one thing that I forgot to mention. This is a completely safe breathing practice. Okay. That being said, if at any point, if any of this gets too intense, please know you are in charge of your experience. If at any point it's like you're like, this is too much, my hands are cramped up, my lips are buzzing off of my head, just back off the breath a little bit. Right? Just back off the breath. I promise you're going to get lightheaded. I promise your fingers are gonna buzz. So if at any point any of this gets too intense, just back off the breath. Focus on the inhale rather than the exhale, and the buzziness will go away, the lightheadedness will go away. Your hands will open back up. 2 minutes, you'll be right as rain. It is really important to know that you are in charge of this experience. You get to run your own experience here, and you can do it as intense. You can go as you can go ham on this thing if you want, or you can kind of take it easy. I invite you to challenge yourself just a little bit. All right, so we're going to go through 3 work rounds. 1 round is Savasana. I'll kind of call you back in at the end, and I'll give you some instructions for how to kind of take your experience forward. Things you might want to consider doing some writing about. But for now, we're just gonna get going here. So I'm gonna turn the music up. The music's gonna be about this loud. If you can hear the music and my voice and the balance is good, give me a thumbs up. You guys can come hear me and my music. Cool, perfect. All right, guys. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so honored to be here. Tell Nikki that I was like super pissed off that she couldn't be here. Like, just tell her that I'd like Dave just burned a hole in the ground. He was so mad. He just. But you gotta keep it cool. You gotta be like, just tell her Dave was just so pissed. So, let's get to work. Begin with a deep breath in through the nose. And release. Deep, slow breaths. Into the belly, out. Arrive in this place, this space, and in this time. Give yourself full permission to be here for the next 50 minutes. Give yourself full permission to not have anything better to do, more important than this. That way, when the resistance comes up, and I promise it will come up, you can just allow yourself to be present. Just allow yourself to be here. Deep, slow breaths. Feel your body being held by the bed, the floor, the couch, whatever it is you're laying on. Feel your full weight. So often we're told to be less, to be smaller, to be thinner, to be quieter, to be less you, please. You're a lot. I need you to be less. I need you to feel all of yourself. I need you to be completely present. All of you is important. All of you is necessary, and all of you is required for this. You don't need to be smaller. Feel a wave of relaxation as it warms and moves up your body, warming and relaxing your feet, your ankles, your calves, your thighs, your hips and your back. Relax your core, your chest, your shoulders, and down your arms. Relax your neck and your jaw. Boy, we talk so much, don't we? Ooh, I know I do. Relax your face and soften behind the eyes. Relax the very crown of your head, as though somebody were pouring warm oil over the top of your head. You can actually feel your ears drift down towards your shoulders as your scalp relaxes. Bring your awareness to your third eye and look inward. Observe the quality of your thoughts. Are they busy? Are they calm? Are they all over the place? Are you ruminating about something that happened earlier? Are you worried about something that's going to happen later? Or can you just be here? Can you just be in the now? Drop your awareness down into your heart center. Observe your emotional backdrop. Can you identify your emotions? Do you know what you are feeling? At any given time, most of us are experiencing 3 to 5 different emotions from the surface level to the very, very deep. Can you identify your emotions? Even more importantly, can you identify them without judgment? Without thinking that they should be something else, or that you need to do something about them. Can you just allow them to be and just be present? Finally, drop your awareness down into your gut center and observe your body. How do you feel? Are you tired? Are you energized? Are you still sore from your workout? Have you had enough water? How have you been feeding yourself recently? Has it been good food or just a bunch of garbage? When was the last time you stretched? We'll begin our first round in about 40 seconds. Take a moment, set an intention, ask a question. What information would you like to come out of this process that you are not entering it with? What questions would you like answered? What new perspectives? We'll begin our first round in just a moment. I'll count it down. For now, just breathe. And beginning bellows breath in 3, 2, 1. Breathe. In, out, 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 in, out. Good. One hand on your belly, feel your belly rise and fall. Connect your inhale to your exhale and your exhale to your inhale. Elliptical breathing. No gaps. That's the real secret sauce. That's what gets you there. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Good. Use this first round to get the mechanics down. Sometimes it can be challenging if you lose the plot or lose your place. Just take a breath, start over. If you are breathing, you are doing this correctly. Don't second guess yourself. Don't worry about anything. Be present in your body. Flow follows focus. Focus on your breath. Find your rhythm. Find your cadence. You don't have to be right on with mine. Find what works for you. I'm just the guy reminding you what you're doing. It can feel awkward at first. It's fine. Remember, awkward always means that you are building new neural connections. You are strengthening neural pathways. Awkward always means you're learning. It's okay to be awkward. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Find what works for you. You're doing great. Breathe. Breathe through the resistance. I invite you to set aside everything that you think you know about yourself. about breathwork, about why we're here, about why you're here. Set aside everything that's happened today up into this moment. Set it all down like groceries on the kitchen floor. Let go. If you breathed with me before, don't try to have last time's experience. Just have this time's experience. Feel your body lighten as you let go of everything that you came in here with. Just set it all down. I promise it'll all be there when you come back for it. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Breathe. Good. You're doing great. Just stay with it. Be present in your body. Feel the air moving in and out. Your belly moving up and down. Feel your rhythm. Feel your cadence. In and out, 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 in and out. Good. We're 4 minutes in. Observe what's coming up for you. Observe the negotiation that's currently going on. All the things that suddenly need to have to be done. All the things that suddenly seem more important than this. All the things, this is weird, I don't have time for this, this is what I thought. I'm tired, I don't have the energy, this guy's weird, I don't even know who this guy is. The music is strange. Breathing like this is hard, I know. It's cool. Stay in it. I understand all of those things. And the first mile of any jog is hard. First round of any Peloton class or Soul Cycle is hard. Warming up in the gym is hard. First 4 asanas in any yoga class are hard. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Breathe. You got this. Let it all fall away. Let it all go. Anything that's worthwhile will still be there when you come back. We're not throwing anything out, we're just setting it aside. In and out, 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 in and out. First stage of the flow cycle is struggle. We can use this round as a mirror for ourselves. Keep breathing in and out, 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 in and out. Breathe. You got this. We can use this round as a mirror for ourselves. How do we show up when we're confronted with resistance? Do we start looking for exits? Do we begin the negotiations? Or does resistance make you determined? Do you put your head down and lean in? It's good to know how we respond when that resistance hits. Let's use this round to unclutter our minds, unclutter our thoughts, our emotions, and our energy. Sweep it all away. Sweep it all aside. Find yourself in a clean, open space, ready to work. No distractions. open to new insights, new beliefs, new perspectives, new information. Allow yourself to be completely receptive, which means you have to empty your cup first. You cannot receive into a full cup. Set it all aside. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. One hand on your belly, feel your belly rise and fall. Connect your inhale to your exhale and your exhale to your inhale. Elliptical breathing. No gaps. 2 minutes left to go. Let's take deeper breaths. Oxygenate that body. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Breathe. Relax later. Spend the time. You're here. Do the work. Show up for yourself. Show up for yourself the way you show up for everybody else in your life. You deserve the same amount of intention and the same amount of effort. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. See yourself emerging into a new understanding, a new awareness, and a new experience. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. See your awareness expand. Feel your point of observation expand. Reach out with your energy. Connect with the infinite. Connect with Source. Connect with Spirit. Connect with the other breathers in this container. Support them as they support you. Offering only support for what serves them best. Coming up on our first sublimation. I'll count it down. We'll take a great big deep breath together. Keep breathing. And taking a great big deep breath together in 3, 2, 1. Great big deep breath in. Hold. And release out the mouth. Hold. Hold here. Hold without inhale. Welcome to the sublimation. Hold without inhale. Observe yourself as a single point of light floating in the darkness. We're going to hold 60 seconds. If you need to take a quick rescue breath, it's okay. Try to hold without inhale. You got this. More seconds. 5. Take a great big deep full breath. Fill your belly, fill your rib cage, fill your chest, and hold. Take a couple extra sips through the mouth. Top it off. Relax shoulders, swallow saliva, focus on your third eye, tighten your core, squeeze. Squeeze the perineum, squeeze the lower 3 energy centers, pushing fresh oxygenated blood and cerebrospinal fluid up into the brain, flooding the pineal gland, firing your imagination. Hold that breath like a smooth, round ball in your belly. Compress down on it. This is sometimes called DMT breathing. Hold as long as you can. There's no right and there's no wrong. Hold as long as you can. Compress that breath. Squeeze it. Hold it tightly. Feel that pressure behind your eyes. And when it's time to release for you, release a long, slow exhale through pursed lips, like you're exhaling through a coffee straw. And when there's no more air, go back to deep, full belly breaths. Grounding, nourishing breaths, recentering you, resetting the body. That was one round. You did great. We'll begin our next round in about 40 seconds. Beginning with warrior's breath, deep in and deep out. For now, just breathe. Just be present. You're doing great. I'll count it down. And beginning warrior's breath, deep in and deep out. In 3, 2, 1, breathe. In, out, 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 in, out. Good. Tap your sternum with your fingertips. This is a chest breath rather than a belly breath. Breathing into the chest, activating your sympathetic nervous system, stimulating the adrenals, activating those stretch receptors and baroreceptors in the chest, triggering the production of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. This is a neurotransmitter that makes exercise feel good. Take you back 50,000 years. This is the neurotransmitter that makes escaping the wolf feel good. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Good. Deep breaths. Rapid clip. This is going to feel like a workout. It's going to feel challenging. Do something not challenging later. That's not why you're here today. You are here to be challenged. You are here to move out of your comfort zone. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Good. Connect your inhale to your exhale and your exhale to your inhale. Elliptical breathing. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Focus on the exhale rather than the inhale. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Breathe. You got this. You'll feel your heart rate rise. You'll feel your temperature rise. If you were looking in a mirror right now, your eyes would be dilating. Your cheeks would be flushing. This breath activates the entire body. It activates your sympathetic nervous system, pushing you into fight or flight. Breathe in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. You got this. Stay with it. Stay with the intensity. You can do anything for 11 minutes. There's nothing you can't do here. You got this. Good. The second phase of the flow cycle is release. Is when the body surrenders to the process and you drop into flow. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Breathe. You got this. Stay in it. We can also use this round as a mirror for ourselves. What is it time for you to release? What have you been clinging to that is not serving you? What is it time for you to let go of? Fear, self-doubt, hesitation, indecision, guilt. In, out, 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 in, out. Stay in it. Stay with it. Don't let up. What are you clinging to that does not serve you? What are the stories that you tell? What are the narratives that repeat over and over and over in your mind? Things you didn't do right. Things you should have done instead of this thing. Things that should have been said. Things you could have done. Things you should have seen. Things you should have caught. Things about yourself. Things about others. What are the stories that you tell? Cling to? What are the resentments? It's time to let them go. It is time to be free of them. They're so heavy. They stop you. They stop you from living the life you deserve to live. They stop you from engaging in your own life. Where do you play small? Where do you hide? Where do you shrink yourself? Where do you feel unworthy? Unworthy of happiness, unworthy of love, unworthy of living a rich, full, vibrant life. Where does that but come up? Yes, but I am worthy of it, but what's the but? What's the argument? It's time to let it go. Where do you shrink? Where do you put others' needs ahead of yours? What are the stories? What are the narratives? What are the resentments? If only they would have. If only she knew. If only he did. What do they sound like? What are the words in your head that cycle over and over and over, putting you in direct conflict with reality? In, out, 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 in, out. You deserve peace. You deserve to be whole. Regardless of what happened. Regardless of the stories. Regardless of how you were raised. Regardless of trauma. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be at peace. What are the draggy anchors? What are the barriers that keep you from existing, from thriving, from bursting into a rich, full, vibrant life? What are all the reasons why you say I can't? What is that I can't attach to? It's bullshit. It's a lie. You are clinging to a very painful but very familiar lie because it is familiar. Rather than reaching out into the unfamiliar, breathe in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. We're almost there. Don't back down. Stay in it. What's it time to let go of? What is it time to forgive? Where do you need to forgive yourself? Where do you need to forgive others? The ones who wounded us awakened us. They forced us to contend with our own wounds. The ones who abandoned us empowered us. They forced our hand. They made us rise. You've been given a gift. Sometimes it can feel heavy. Sometimes it doesn't feel like a gift. Know that it is. Know that you were not given something that you couldn't handle. Breathe in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. So what are you going to leave hanging in the air when you get up and walk out of this room today? What are you not taking with you? What are you completely done with? This does not serve me. I am not taking it with me. I am completely done with this. Breathe. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Good. Make a decision. What is no longer staying in your life? What are the narratives? What are the stories? What are the excuses? I want this gone. This no longer reflects who I am. It no longer reflects what I want. I cast this out. I have spoken. This is not following me. I am done with this. You get to be the gatekeeper. You get to be the doorman. Nothing stays in your life without your consent. Not people, not habits, not patterns, nothing. It's time to make a decision. Coming up on our second sublimation. Taking a great big deep breath together. In 3, 2, 1. Great big deep breath in. Hold. And release out the mouth. Hold. Hold here. Hold without inhale. Hold in the stillness. Observe yourself as a single point of light in the darkness. 10 more seconds. 5. Take a great big deep full breath. Fill your belly, fill your rib cage, fill your chest, and hold. Take a couple extra sips at the top it off. Relax shoulders, swallow saliva, focus on your third eye, tighten your core, squeeze. Feel the pressure behind your eyes. See the colors as your body produces serotonin, melatonin, and dopamine all at the same time. In practice, it'll produce DMT and you'll have an authentic psychedelic experience. Hold and squeeze. Gather the last remnants of that which you're casting out. Squeeze it out. Feel it move up through the skin, up and out into the air. When it's time to release a long, slow exhale through pursed lips, like you're exhaling through a coffee straw. When there's no more air, go back to deep, full belly breaths. Your body shifts back into your parasympathetic nervous system. Shifts back into rest and digest. Your heart rate slows. Your breath returns to normal. And you teach your nervous system that it can trust you. We'll begin our third and final round in just a moment. And back to bellows breath. In, out. In, out. I'll count it down. Now just breathe. Present. Beginning bellows breath. 3, 2, 1. Breathe. In, out. 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 Good. One hand on your belly, feel your belly rise and fall. Connect your inhale to your exhale and your exhale to your inhale. Elliptical breathing. No gaps. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. Good. Great. In the first round, we uncluttered our mind, our thoughts, our emotions, our energy. Cleared the decks and created space. Created a wide opening. In the second round, we cast out everything that was no longer serving us. So now it's time to ask the question, what are you building? What is it time for you to build? What is it time for you? Where are you in your own healing? Where are you in your business? Where are you in your relationship? Where are you in your family? Where are you in your community? What is it time for you to build? What do you need? What is it time to call in? Who are the people? Aligned friendships, aligned relationships, aligned opportunities. Who are the people you are here to serve? What is the job that you are here to do? You know the answer. Sometimes it can be terrifying, but you know what it is. I work with so many people and we talk about purpose. What is my purpose here? I don't know, man. Maybe it's that thing you can't stop Googling. Maybe it's that thing you can't stop YouTubing, reading about. Maybe it's that thing you can't stop boring your friends to death talking about. Your passions are a breadcrumb trail to your purpose. Your passions may not be your purpose, but they will lead you to it. They are there as signposts. They are there as guiding lights. You would not care about these things the way you do if they were not for you. They would not call to you the way they do if you were not supposed to chase them. They are unique to you, and they will guide you to your purpose. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Good, Lauren. Breathe. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Stay in it. Stay in the breath. Good. Every organism on Earth knows that it's supposed to fully express before it passes on. Humans are the only ones who doubt this. Humans are the only ones who think they need some sort of permission to fully express. What would that fullest expression of you look like? What would you living fully into your purpose look like? What would you be doing? Who would you be serving? Who would you help? Good. In, out, 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 in, out. Breathe. What would happen if you absolutely believed that everything that you wanted also wanted you? That there was no waste in universal or energetic economy. That everything that you wanted also wanted you and was moving toward you at the speed that you were moving toward it. How many more chicken shit little baby steps would you take? Or would they become giant, fearless leaps? Would you take risks? Would you lean into fear? Would you lean into possibility? Would you lean into the knowing that if it wasn't for you, you wouldn't be drawn to it? In, out, 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 in, out. Breathe. Stay in it. Deeper breaths. More energy. I want you to see that life that you want. If you can picture it, you can have it. See that community that you want. Picture that life that you want for yourself. And feel grateful for it now. Keep breathing. In, out. 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 Breathe. Good. Dial it up. What would happen if you actually started living again? What would happen if you stepped back into your own life? What would happen if you began seeking joy? Power. The power to help. Power to help others. It's all we do. All we do is serve each other. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. What would happen if you leaned into your gifts? What would happen if you leaned into your talents? What would happen if you began sharing fearlessly? What would happen if you refused to hide? Refused to play small? If you declared that I know the way out and took other women by the hand and showed them fearlessly? It has to start with you. It has to start with a decision. A desire to never play small again. We'll make our mistakes. We're not going to do everything perfect. That's just fine. But you can decide that you never want to play small. You never want to hide. You never want to shrink so that somebody else can be comfortable. So that nobody else has to be inconvenienced with the burden of your existence. The fact that you have your own emotions, your own thoughts, your own dreams, you're allowed to. And you're allowed to step fully into them. You are allowed to show up for yourself the way you show up for everybody else. You do not require permission. You can step into the space. You don't need to make it. What would happen if you actually believed that? Who would you be? Who would you stretch into? Coming up on our third and final sublimation. Taking a great big deep breath together. In 3, 2, 1. Great big deep breath in. Hold. And release out the mouth. Hold. Hold without inhale. Hold here. Observe yourself as a single point of light, floating in a vast darkness. Hold 90 seconds. You got this. If you need to take a quick rescue breath, take it. But you got this. 10 more seconds. 5. Take a great big deep full breath. Fill your belly, fill your rib cage, fill your chest, and to hold. Take a couple extra sips through the mouth at the top it off. Relax shoulders, swallow saliva, focus on your third eye, tighten your core, squeeze. Tighten down, feel that pressure behind your eyes. Play on the very edge of that pressure. Create your own. Hold that breath like a smooth, round ball in your belly. Clamp down on it. Driving fresh oxygenated blood into every extremity. Pushing blood into your brain. Pushing cerebral spinal fluid up around your brain. Squeeze and hold. When it's time to release a long, slow exhale through pursed lips, like you're exhaling through a coffee straw. And when there's no more air, go back to deep, full belly breaths. Welcome to the suspension. This is where you get to swim in your altered state. Explore your internal environment. All the hard work is done. This is where you get to be present with yourself. Observe what comes up for you, what comes through. You're safe. I'm here. I'm holding the space. As you slowly return to the conscious awareness of yourself, begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Don't rush to open your eyes. Come back slowly. Come back gently. Be gentle with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Consider the insights from today's session. What showed up for you? What came through? What were the insights? What were the new perspectives? What were the decisions that got made? And what are your next steps that now seem so clear? Begin to yawn and stretch. Come further back into yourself. Return to this place. I want to encourage you to drink a lot of water. Some of you had very powerful experiences. Dislodged a lot of energy. Water will help you move that up and out. I would also encourage you to do some writing for the next 20 or 30 minutes before you do much talking about it. Spend some time with the journal. Do some writing. It will help you sort of interpret what showed up for you, what came through. It'll allow you to make sense of it, like writing down a dream. A lot of a dream is just nonsense. But when you write things down, it begins to get real clear, it begins to get real crystallized. It allows you to filter the nonsense from the message. Your experience here is not over. It will continue to develop over the next 12, 18, 24 hours. Some people experience the effects of flow state up to 3 days. You're likely to experience a huge burst of productivity or creativity. If you are naturally connected to spirit or easily connected to spirit, you may notice a blurring of that line for the next few days. It may get real easy to cross. I invite you to be gentle with yourself for the next few days. You had a really big experience. A couple of you had pretty big emotional releases. A couple big ahas in there. They're good. These are good things, but they require some integration. They require some process. Don't run to your Christmas party tonight and go tell everybody about the cool party trick you just experienced. It's not going to serve you or them. Go to the party, but just give yourself time to integrate. Spend some time in meditation, contemplation, thinking about what showed up for you and what it's time for you to do now. Before we close, we'll bring the energy back into the center for just a few moments. Open the space for sharing, for reflection. If anybody would care to share, talk about your experience, talk about what came through for you, what showed up for you. You don't have to, but the space is available for it. to go ahead and unmute yourself. And I'd love to hear about your experience if you're open to sharing it. And that's just fine if you're not.
Hey, Dave, can you tell us again about why your hands and face are getting tingly and numbing?
Because of the type of breathing that you're doing, you are causing a contraction in the microcirculations. It's just a contraction of the smallest blood vessels and capillaries in your hands and your face, the ones that are very closest to the surface of the skin. They're just contracting a little bit, almost as though if your like foot falls asleep, you know, you're kind of sitting on your foot for a while and you just get that contraction of the small blood vessels and capillaries results in kind of tingly sensation.
Yeah. I was definitely getting that in my hands.
Yeah, hands, face, lips, real typical. Some people feel like they're making funny faces, like their faces are contorting when they get really into it. I wish so much that was the case. If I had like 20 people all making crazy faces at me during breath work, that would make my day. But nobody is, unfortunately. But yeah, it can, and people's experience varies. Some of them feel very lightly. Some people feel those tingles very strongly.
So how long does that last? Like 15 minutes or something? Like
The tingles
yeah.
usually is, again, until you change your breathing process.
Okay.
Are they still tingly?
A little bit.
Yeah, it'll go away. 2-3 minutes. Now that you've changed the way you're breathing, just a couple minutes and it'll go away. It's like your foot falling asleep. You know, once the those blood vessels kind of open back up, it'll go away. It's not a lasting thing.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. So glad you're here, Peggy.
Thank you. Good
Does anybody have any questions? All right. I will make sure that you guys have access to what I do. I do breathwork. I run breathwork sessions twice a week on Zoom, Thursday evenings, 7 p.m. Pacific. So if you're on the East Coast, it's a little tougher deal. 7 p.m. Pacific, and that is for women and female identifying persons only. And then Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Pacific, and that is open to everybody. So I invite you to continue your journey with me, continue the breath work.
Dave, thank you so much. As always, fabulous. We are so very blessed and grateful to have you in our reality.
I'm grateful to be here. I'm so grateful. It's always a good experience. It's always good to be able to show up and serve in this community. I'm grateful for the opportunity.
We appreciate you, Dave. Thank you very, very much.
Absolutely. So before I go, I want to say if anybody has something that comes up for you over the next 2 or 3 days, you think it may be related to the breath work, something shows up in your awareness, a memory pops up, I want to invite you to reach out to me, Facebook Messenger, whatever. I'll send you guys all my info. But please feel free to reach out to me, and if someone comes up, because I am very clear that we don't just like close our laptops and I'll go about our day. You guys are kind of roped into this for the next about 24 hours, right? You guys are in an experience, which means that my obligation to you as a facilitator is also not done. So if something comes up, if there's something that you want to talk about, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I have the time, I have the space, I have the bandwidth. I am here to serve you both now and down the road, and it is an absolute honor to do so.
Fabulous.
You guys have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Ladies,
Dave.
that's it. We'll see you tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern for our gallery reading with Marie.
Have a good night, everybody.
All right. You guys enjoy your evening.
Night, everybody.